What we need to find out is, did the controllers that were working then have the right backgrounds, the right information, and the ability to do their job correctly?
NTSB board member Todd Inman says the agency is looking into whether staffing in the control tower may have played a role in Wednesday night's tragedy.
Have you spoken to the controllers who were on duty that day, and can you describe the general conversations?
Yes, we have spoken to one of the controllers that was actively working on the day of the incident. I can't describe the actual nature of the conversation just yet, but I can say this: we're getting very good cooperation.
Air traffic control staffing has been a problem for the FAA for years, and it's thousands of controllers short of staffing goals.
The amount of fatigue.
Nick Daniels is president of the National Air Traffic Controllers Association.
Can you tell me in general, with controllers now being a prominent part of this, how your workers are feeling and doing?
Well, the air traffic controllers across the country are devastated. This is life-changing for the controllers that were working that day, but we know the responsibility of the American public, or any person that steps on an aircraft. They're our responsibility. They're in great hands, but we know the gravity. This is one of those times that we all have to take another look, a deep breath, and go back to work.
A lot of the conversation has to do with controller staffing at this and other towers around the country. How much of an issue do you see that to be right now?
It's a very large issue. It's a 30-year low in air traffic control staffing.
The FAA obviously has standards as to what the staffing level can be at any given time. Are those largely adhered to?
Right now, we often work short in a lot of our facilities, but when we cannot meet the staffing requirements, we end up beginning to reduce capacity in order to keep the safety level at what it should be.
So could this be a wake-up call to some extent?
Yeah, absolutely. I think any chance that we have to talk about the fragility of the air traffic system and the ways to improve it, we should be out doing that.
The President of the United States raised questions about the quality of people being recruited into these jobs. How do you respond to that?
Every certified professional air traffic controller, regardless of their race, regardless of their gender, has gone through rigorous testing to become that controller. Background checks, security checks, medical checks, and that's just to get in the door.
Do you anticipate being able to speak to the controllers who are on duty?
Yes, actually spoke to them the night of the actual incident. Again, they themselves are devastated, this being the life-changing moment. I plan to go spend some time with them.
There are a lot of questions, but certainly a broad determination to get to the facts and figure out if lives can be saved in the future. Those lives, they came from all walks. The 67 people lost when the plane and the helicopter collided. Tom Llamas with more of their stories tonight.
67 lives, moms and dads, Girl Scouts, pipe fitters, soldiers, and so many young, promising figure skaters gone in an instant.
There's just this place of pain that I can't access fully yet. I keep saying it, the analogy I'm using is it's like my daughter's room. I can't walk in there.
Andy Byer lost his 12-year-old daughter, Brielle, and his wife, Justina. Brielle was an up-and-coming skater from Virginia who was training in Wichita. Justina, the mom who did it all for her kids, including traveling to help Brielle.
Talk to me about the moments when she was out there performing.
I mean, she had just the most amazing season this season. She won almost every competition she was in. She qualified, which was like a life goal for her.
1984 Olympic gold medalist Scott Hamilton knew many of the victims.
I was just in Wichita, and I got to see so many of these skaters and coaches. And for this to happen just days after those championships were over, it's just devastating, shocking. It just doesn't make any sense.
Today, we are learning more about who was on board both the American Airlines flight and the military helicopter. The crew of the Black Hawk included Andrew Eves, who served in the Navy for a decade before joining the Army, and Ryan O'Hara, a 28-year-old who served in Afghanistan, while Samuel Lilly and Jonathan Campos piloted the American Airlines flight. Tracy Grubb says his friend Campos was so proud when he became a captain for American.
Know about pilots is they always go to strive to be the best. He was one of the best.
Lily's dad says he was set to get married this fall, posting, "I was so proud when Sam became a pilot. Now it hurts so bad I can't even cry myself to sleep." Among the 60 passengers on Flight 5342, Kia Duggins, a civil rights lawyer, about to start as a professor at Howard University, a Wichita native, Kia attended services at Tabernacle Bible Church just this past Sunday. Minister Annie Montgomery was a mentor.
She was absolutely a beautiful, radiant person on the outside, but more than that, I saw the beauty and the radiance from the inside.
Mikey Stovall was one of 7 friends on board returning from their annual duck hunting trip to Kansas. His mom, Christina, says he was a wonderful father to his 11-year-old son.
He was only 40 years old. He is loved by everybody. Mikey's one of these, from when he was little, everybody will tell you, Mikey loves everybody.
Up and down the East Coast, figure skating clubs are struggling to make sense of the loss. In Virginia, one club lost 14 members of its community. Rena Lynn remembering her friend, 11-year-old Lydia Livingston.
She was always very happy, and she would always help people if they were sad or hurt.
Tom Llamas, NBC News, Washington.
The pain's so deep, important to tell and share their stories. Turning back to the figure skating community, which is reeling tonight from unimaginable loss. Sam Brock is in Boston, where some skaters are getting back on the ice and honoring those lost.
36 hours after this rink went silent, and world-renowned skater Jimmy Ma is back on the ice in Boston.
None of us want to hear music today, but because we have that job, we have to. They would want us to.
Losing 6 members of this skating community, he says, felt akin to losing family.
All of them were pillars of our community. But to me personally, Jen and Gina, they've had a massive impact.
Ma referring to the family of 13-year-old Gina Han, who 3 years ago shared her dreams with NBC Boston.
I really want to go to the Olympics step by step.
Today, her coach saying that goal was in sight.
Gina's nickname was Gina Starina. She was a little star.
Instead, a plan is crystallizing on how to honor the lives of Gina and her mom, Spencer Lane and his mom, and coaches Vadim Naumov and Zhenya Shishkova. You feel like your role has expanded?
Yes. These kids would have wanted us to push. These kids would not want to see us give up.
As the Skating Club of Boston mourns, it's also preparing to host the World Championships in just 2 months.
I do think that this community, this worldwide community, will come together in those moments and support each other.
Tonight, the skaters here are showing tragedy won't define their community, but rather reveal its essential love and connection.
If I could leave a lasting impact on these youngsters, that would mean the world to me. And it starts with us being strong for this situation.
Sam Brock, NBC News, Norwood, Massachusetts.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.